Hello, Broadway Maven. My name is Mateo Chavez Lewis. If you don't already know me, I run the Music Theater Theory channel on YouTube, and I'm also a frequent Broadway Maven co-host. Today, we're looking at all good gifts from, of course, Godspell. I was in a production of Godspell in high school, and I sang this song, so it's very special to me. It has a very special place in my heart. And I'm going to kind of go through the music of this song and explain to you why I think it's so unique. We start like this. We're in cut time, so this little C with a line through it means that basically a half note gets one beat. So usually, we see a quarter note, and the quarter note equals one beat, and then two quarter notes equals a half note. But here, because we're in cut time, we count the half notes as one beat. So the half notes are these: 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And of course, they're represented on the page with those little open notes with the stem. So let's listen to the chord progression here. We have D, A minor 7, C2, G, D, E7 with no fifth, E minor 7 with no fifth, and D. So, there are a few things that are very interesting about that chord progression. The first is that we have all of these accidentals. So these are natural signs, which mean that the note is usually sharp in this key, but instead for this chord, it's not sharp. So we should have a major in the key of D, but instead we have a minor. And then this C chord doesn't exist in the key of D at all. And so what that does is, because we're borrowing from different keys, it makes us, there's something very surprising about the feeling of having a chord in the progression that is borrowed from a key that we're not in. We're in D major, and so as soon as there's a chord that comes out from D major and isn't in D major anymore, it's very surprising to the ear, and it's exciting, and it makes us want to listen. The other interesting thing is that here, this is a C sharp in the key that gets lowered to a C natural, so it makes it more dark. That's kind of a darker sound than we're expecting. But here, we have a G sharp. So G is supposed to be natural in the key of D major, but here it's sharp, so it's brighter than we expect. So we have this dark sound that is made from lowering a note, and then we have this bright sound that's made from raising a note. So it's very interesting. It mixes light and dark. It uses both light and dark colors. Here comes the light color. Listen to this. Ooh, what's that? And that's all before the singer even starts to sing. Then the singer sings over that exact chord progression. We plow the fields and scatter, this was me in high school, the good seed on the land. But it is fed and watered by God's almighty hand. So here we have a really good example of using the darkness and the light at the same time, because here we have an F natural, and here we have down the octave an F sharp. So we literally have the minor third, that F natural, which is that minor dark sound, in the same bar as we also have an F sharp, which is that major brighter sound. He sends the snow in winter, the warmth to swell the grain, the breezes and the sunshine, the soft refreshing rain. And so this kind of tug of war between light and dark that's happening in the music is actually supporting what's happening in the lyric. If you look at the lyric, it's the snow in winter and the warmth to swell the grain. The character is saying these two things that are seemingly opposites of each other are both gifts from God. And that's kind of a very beautiful sentiment. I'm not a religious person, but I still believe in some sort of higher power. And I think that that's a very beautiful way of conceptualizing life, is that everything, the darkness in life and the bright things in life, they're all gifts. That's a very beautiful way of looking at life, I think, and it's encapsulated in this song. And here's the chorus. All good gifts surround us. Again, totally capturing that feeling of darkness and light. We've got this big, bright D major, which goes to this C chord, and then we have a whole chord built around the F natural, which is that minor note that I was talking about before. So it's like very dark, borrowing that C natural and that F natural from the D minor scale, and then resolving to D major. So we're going back and forth, light and dark, exactly the same. And then we repeat, although the repeat even is different than before. This time we have, this is the same, D, A minor 7, C, G, D, E7, which was the same as before, and then this is different. Before we went E to E minor to D. Now crucially, the difference is E to E minor, we still have that B natural, which belongs in the key of D. We have a lot of things that are coming out of the key of D in this chord progression. We've got that C natural there. We've got the G sharp. But in the original chord progression at the beginning of the song, at least we had a constant B natural, which we're supposed to have in the key of D. But here, we add an extra color note, an extra note that is outside of the key signature. We add this B flat, and listen to the sound it makes. Ooh, spicy, right? We got, this is the E7, and then this. Da-na. Again, we're lowering that B. Before it was this. Da-na. We're lowering that B to the B flat. Da-na. So we have a brighter version. And then we have a darker version. The whole way through, it's this tug of war between light and dark. And what I love about it is that that is very much the only interesting musical idea. Like, Stephen Schwartz has very diligently chosen one thing to play around with. Everything else in the music is very standard. You've got these straight quarter notes in the melody, largely, these straight half notes. You've got a steady rhythm. The rhythm he's not playing around with at all. It's just half note, half note, half note, half note, half note, half note. So, because all the other elements of music are very standard and consistent, it opens Stephen Schwartz up to be able to play with all of these harmonic elements, because everything else is standard. And so the ear is able to follow it even when the harmony goes to some pretty crazy places. And then, of course, it ends with the singer, me in high school, belting some crazy notes and riffing, riffing, riffing. We get this, like, I really want to thank you, Lord, etc. Thank you for all of your love. I want to thank you, Lord. So, interesting harmony and riffing for days. I'm a happy man. That's what I like in my music. Anyways, I hope you found this interesting.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Marquee is a free weekly Broadway appreciation newsletter with essays, reviews, piano talks, Broadway blasts, quizzes, and more. Sign up for the complimentary or premium edition and learn about all classes and projects at thebroadwaymaven.com. And here's a Stephen Schwartz playlist.